Hi, man, with etrailer. If you have a 2023 BMW X5 and you're looking for something that's going to be very affordable and going to be able to get you through those light duty snow and ice conditions, then the Titan chain tire chains are going to be a good option for you. So let's check them out. So we are going to have this on tire size 275, 45, or 20. Now that's just the tire size we have today. This will fit a variety of other sizes. And we are going to have this on a rear axle. Now you just need to make sure that you turn off that steering to this axle so you can properly use these chains safely. And then we're also going to recommend that you just check that this is going to be the right fit so you can actually plug in your vehicle's information into our fit guide to find the right one for you. And if we check out the specs, we will have these roller link style chains. So they're also going to be Class S, so they're going to sit real close to your tire. But the nice thing about roller link style is it's going to give you more of a smooth ride overall, but it's going to be mainly for those light duty snow and ice conditions. And on top of that, they are going to be in a ladder style pattern. And with the ladder style pattern, that's going to give you more traction when you're stopping and you're stopping. And then if we check out the bottom of our chain, you'll notice we do have this lever. And this is actually great for this style of chain because if you don't have any additional tensioning device on here, these can be really tricky to get as tight as possible. So that's going to help you out a lot. I still do recommend using a rubber tensioner though. A rubber tensioner is great because usually your chains are going to shift, and once they shift, they're going to loosen up. Now you can actually find a rubber tensioner on our website just so you can keep everything nice and tight as you drive, giving you more peace of mind. And this kit is going to come with 2 chains in this light duty bag, and that's okay because they are light duty chains, so they shouldn't really tear it up too much. My big issue with the bag though is these chains are a little springy, so they're really hard to roll back up, especially in this small little bag. So that's going to be pretty difficult, especially when you have used these a few times. So what I'd recommend is actually investing in a small tote to keep your chains in. In my opinion, I think this is a pretty alright chain for our vehicle today. Now there's plenty of other better options out there, I think, one of which is also made by Titan Chain, and that's going to be their chain with a rubber tensioner. And what I like about that chain is you don't have to get underneath your vehicle like you do with this one, and it's not going to be as springy, so when you roll it back up, you can actually keep it in its bag without fighting it as much. But it will be at a more premium price range, so it's really just going to depend on what your needs are. I think this one's really just going to excel if you're really never using your chains at all and you just need something to stay legal in your state. Now, if you are curious about this installation, just stay tuned and we'll walk you through the process. The first thing I like to start off with is just grabbing some gloves, just make this a little bit easier, and then laying out my chains. Now, I just like to check a few things when I do this. I just like to make sure there's no damages to the links themselves and it's in the right orientation. So we have these hooks facing up so they're away from our tire. And then we have this lever on the outside, closest to us, furthest away from your tire. Once you've established that, then we can start putting it on. So you're just going to grab it from the center and drape it over your tire. You want to make sure it's not hanging too low either, or it's going to make contact with your rim. So you're just going to push up on it some until it's even on both ends. Sticking your hand back there is going to help out with that. And then we're just going to move the ends around so it's going to be a little bit easier when we make our connections. And speaking of those connections, we're going to start with the backside since that's a little bit trickier to get to. Now this is going to be a tight fit, especially when there is snow around. But essentially what we're doing is just sticking these metal blocks through this channel. You'll be able to get a better look at it when we do the front side. But you want to make sure you don't get this too tight and too loose. There is going to be a sweet spot, so it's not going to give you an uneven fit on either side. And the front side is going to be just the same process, just putting these metal blocks through that channel. And you'll eventually get to the point, well, it's feeling pretty tight. I think I can get this a little bit more. Let's try maybe one more block. This is another reason why I recommend those gloves, because there will be a lot of burrs typically with this. There we go. Just barely got it on there. And now what the difference is with the front and back is we're actually going to have this lever. We can get some additional tension out of this and hook this on. We're also going to have this eyelet. We have this on either side too. You can just stow away this excess of this cable so it's not dangling around as you drive. And this is a good point. Just give it a good pull test. Make sure this feels pretty tight. This feels pretty good for the most part. I still recommend grabbing a rubber tensioner, and it's going to be great for the reasons that I've said earlier. But when you're doing this, you want to make sure you try to do this in more of a star pattern so it evenly distributes that tension. And then on top of that, you want to make sure these hooks are facing away from our tire. Now I got mine kind of flipped around, so I'll flip it right back. There it is. Because if these hooks are facing towards your tire, they could puncture something. So you just want to keep them away, just for a little bit more peace of mind. And this is kind of what you should look for when you're putting this on. You don't want any crazy fits like this where you're not getting any tension in that spot. But when this is complete, you can repeat that process on the other side. Afterwards, I just recommend pulling forward and backing up some, and then just checking it again, making sure it feels good. And if it does, you can take it out for a ride. But that was just a look at some of the features and the installation of the Titan Chain tire chains on the back of our 2023 BMW X5. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching.